Yeah, I know. This isn't rage bait. You saw the title. I don't think that there should be snipers in Battlefield. Why? Because Battlefield is a team-based game. And what are snipers? Not a part of the team. You can't tell me that you're doing anything when you're at the back of the map sniping me while I'm staring at the glare like it's a nuclear bomb. And don't even get me started on the sheer amount of blood, sweat, and tears that sniper players will shed just to get to a part of the map that they shouldn't be able to go to. For example, Empire State. The fact that sniper players, for some reason, thought, well, what if I use this drone to get to the top of the building so I can camp easier? That is crazy. Imagine if they spent that amount of energy into capturing the objective, or let's just say, pursuing a job, a career. They would be millionaires. It's basically what Otto said to Peter in Spider-Man 2. Lazy, but brilliant. They're smart, but they're so lazy that they use it to exploit the game in the worst possible ways. And you know what I like to do, actually, particularly on Mirak Valley, or if there's a sniper that has my number? Well, I like to take a helicopter or a jet, and I'm not saying this is not toxic. I'm fully aware that this is a toxic thing to do, but what I like to do on Mirak Valley is fly the jet straight into the campers on the top of the building, hoping that I get them that way. It's just a much more satisfying way to do it than if I just kill them with my gun. But if need be, I do hop out of the helicopter or jet and I take them out myself. And not to mention, I can make a separate video on RPGs. Everyone and their mother has an RPG pointed at my jet when I go into the sky. But we're not going to talk about that. But it's usually these sniper players who pull out, they keep some sort of RPG or anti-air missile gadget on them, and they can see me from the landing pad or the runway on Mirak Valley. These people are so determined to do everything but actually participate in the game. And another thing I really love is when my team is getting cooked. Like, for example, we're down by 300 tickets. It's not over. The game is still winnable if we all just contributed to, going on point. But then I see my own snipers that are using some kind of voodoo to get into buildings I didn't even know you could get into, and they're not actually, helping us win the game. So sniper players, I really need to know, what is your purpose in the game? I know that Battlefield isn't like a sweat fest the same way that Call of Duty is or some other games, but I mean, it's a team-based game, right? So you actually get upgrades and benefits and additional points if you play with your team, revive, cover, stuff like that. Wouldn't it be nice to win some more games and not just play your own set? They're not even on the Battlefield. I don't even know what game they're playing. Are they playing Ledge? Are they playing Ledge? Are they playing Building Tops? Just rename the game for them. I just wish there was like a mode in Battlefield. Like, I get that you can make your own server where you ban snipers, but ultimately, I wish there was a snipers free game mode. And I'm not sure why more people haven't actually come to this conclusion, because snipers in games like this feel sort of counterproductive. Like in something like Call of Duty, it takes a bit more skill. You can camp in Call of Duty, but there's definitely a lot more respect if you can quickscope. It's annoying because you have a stronger gun, and then all you need is a bit more luck with your sniper to pick me off. But at least I can respect the amount of hours and effort you've put in to quickscope me in Call of Duty. But in Battlefield, I have absolutely no respect, because you know yourself that if you come into contact with me in a 1v1, you're not doing anything unless by some sort of divine intervention you're able to quickscope me, but we all know that's not going to happen in Battlefield, at least not to the extent that it happens in Call of Duty. And there's also the fact of like when you try to kill a camper, because shooting in general in this game and hit registry is a fever dream. Let's say you have 20 bullets in a mag, right? And you shoot 10 of them, and those 10 bullets are actually those Nerf bullets. 5 go into the void, so they don't actually even register, and the other 5 hit, but you don't get enough damage, so it doesn't even matter. If you guys like these types of rants, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I love to just, say what's off the top of my head. So if you want more content like this, it is absolutely no problem, and you will get more of it. Then there's also the factor of how the map sizes exacerbate this problem. So let's take Mirak Valley on Breakthrough. So if you're trying to attack on Mirak Valley, you might as well just leave the game, because the sniper, or generally the other team's spawn, is so close to where the objectives are that you need to capture that it defeats the purpose. And your spawn is super small. You could snipe the other team for sure, but the other team sniper has so many other options against you, not to mention that your team could smoke, they could plant mines and all this stuff. And snipers have an advantage here because they have clear lines of sight, and you don't exactly have the best cover here, especially if the other team is trying to attack on B objective, well, you have so much room to pick them off from that spot, and it just defeats the purpose of you trying to even play the game when you have long sight lines and snipers that are just simply lining up to pick you off there. But now let's take into consideration a good sniper and a bad sniper. So a good sniper can feel really strong in a fun way, and they could kill someone instantly with really no counterplay, which kind of goes back to what I was talking about, hit registry. But a bad sniper still occupies a slot while doing basically nothing. So both outcomes feel bad. Either you're annoyed because you get one tap by someone you never saw, or you're annoyed because your team is down like, I don't know, 6 players who are farming kill assists on some random hill. And think about most deaths in this game. When you die, even if you're annoyed, your brain usually goes, all right, yeah, that one was on me. I pushed too far. I crossed open ground without smoke. I might have ignored audio or took a dumb angle. The game is constantly nudging you like, hey, do that again, and you're probably dead. But if you do it smarter and you live, that feedback loop is how you kind of get better without even trying. Now compare that to getting sniped. Be honest. Half the time, you're not learning anything. You were moving with your squad, playing the objective, using cover, doing everything right, and then you just get vanquished. No warning. I mean, yeah, there is the sniper scope, but a lot of the time, you might not even notice that at first, and you can't really have that same feedback loop where you're like, all right, I messed up. The only lesson you get is, cool, guess I should not be there at all. And that is such a lame lesson for a game that's supposed to reward movement and aggression. What makes it worse is that the danger is invisible and it's really inconsistent. You die once, so you avoid that lane. Then you die somewhere else, then somewhere else again. There is really no rule that you can actually internalize other than someone might be watching from somewhere. It doesn't make you better, it just makes you hesitant. You start second guessing every push, every rotation, every open space, even when pushing would be objectively the right play. And this is the part that really annoys me. Battlefield is at its peak when everybody is reacting to the same thing. Like, you know, the crane falls or a tank explodes in front of you and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy, they just lost a tank or you just lost a tank. And it feels like a collective experience. Win or lose, you're in that joint together. But snipers are not in that moment with you. They're playing something else. They're playing a solo, individual version of the match, different audio, different pacing, different stakes. So when someone can opt out of the shared experience and still influence the match, teamwork starts feeling optional instead of essential. Like revives matter less, your smokes matter less, timing, and once that happens, Battlefield starts losing the thing that makes it special. So that's why sniper deaths feel worse than almost any other death in this game, not because they're like overpowered, but because they teach you nothing useful. They slow you down mentally, and they pull the game away from what it's actually good at. And so yeah, that is my justification and case as to why I really don't think snipers should be in Battlefield, but you guys let me know your thoughts down below, and I know you're gonna write skill issues, so whatever, buddy. So let me know your thoughts as usual in the comments below, and if you enjoy these types of rants, then consider to like and subscribe, and maybe comment something that you want me to talk about, and I'll see if I feel passionate about it. At any rate though, thank you all so much for watching as usual, and until next time, make sure to take care.